Have you ever used a tanning bed?
I have never.
Neither
Never,
have I.
no.
No?
I haven't. I've always been kind of leery about them, haven't wanted to do it, but I know lots of people who do, and I know lots of young women who do as well. And I've often thought that maybe they were taking some chances here. But James Bezan is our guest at the moment, an MP who from Manitoba who would like to bring in a private member's bill that would have stricter guidelines on the use of tanning beds. Now, the tanning, James, the industry itself, the Joint Canadian Tanning Association, they say that there is no scientific evidence to show tanning beds cause melanoma or skin cancer. So how conclusive is the evidence that you have that says there is?
Well, when you have organizations like the World Health Organization and the International Agency for Research on Cancer making the determination based upon research that has been done around the world to say that, tanning and making use of artificial tanning devices like tanning beds are increasing the risk of skin cancer by 75% for people that use it before they're age 30. I think that's pretty conclusive evidence that they definitely aren't going to make flippant type of statements. They're going to do the studies and make sure that everything's peer-reviewed to ensure that they're making proper recommendations. We know that the World Health Organization does go through a very stringent peer review process on all the different health claims that they make over the course of a year. And in August 2009, they came out with a very strong statement that tanning beds are carcinogenic to humans, is the exact quote. And so based upon that recommendation coming from the world's highest health body that is widely supported by all governments around the world and, of course, the medical community, I think it would be irresponsible to say that they are not valid in that statement. So I hope that the tanning industry, rather than looking at this as being an information war or misinformation war, would rather be wanting to cooperate to properly educate consumers, to ensure that labeling is prominent within their establishments and on the tanning bed itself. And just recently, the Canadian Cancer Society did a survey of the tanning salons in the GTA area and found 87% of them did not have proper visible warning labels. So we want to make sure that they want to participate in providing good consumer awareness. And I know that they pride themselves on being very professional in providing advice to their consumers. But let's take it one step further and make sure that people can clearly see what the warnings are and hopefully curb some of this activity, especially for our youth.
Now, James, have you ever used a tanning bed?
I have.
I would imagine it was quite some time ago.
Yeah, in my earlier 20s, my wife had bought a package, and so I said, you know what, you're making use of the bed itself, so I bought a package myself and used it over the course of one winter. And, so I know about the industry. I know that they do provide advice on how, when you're starting off, to start off with lowered exposure levels, not to be in the tanning bed longer than a few minutes when you get started. But at the same time, we know that people want to have that perfect complexion, that perfect pigmentation on their skin, and
well, you look healthier, don't you?
That's
you're
what
tanned.
we think. We think you look better if you're tanned. You look healthy. We've been sort of conditioned to feel that way. That wow, don't I look great? I have a friend who just came back from Florida, beautifully tanned. I said, man, you look great, right? And that's what we think. So if we can't get it by going somewhere south, then you want to get the look, and you end up using a tanning bed.
Definitely, and and people will still make those decisions. And what we're saying here is, let's just make sure that people, when they make those decisions, are well informed.
Right, and that's all you can do at a federal level. All you can do is put up the warnings. You couldn't. I suppose you would probably like to ban those under 18 from using them. Would you do that if you had the power?
Well, I think I'll leave that up to the province to make that decision. But definitely there is that discussion that youth under the age of 18 should be prohibited knowing what I've been through and knowing other families that have had the same experience, I would encourage the provinces to make that decision to do the prohibition. And there was that decision made at one point in New Brunswick. They now are going through a reevaluation of that. But we know that the United Kingdom is having this debate in Parliament and are looking at doing the same sort of ban for everybody under the age of 18 based upon the World Health Organization recommendation. The same thing has happened in Australia and a number of other countries. So if we know that tanning, whether artificial or natural, can cause cancer, the one thing that we can regulate is the artificial tanning devices, then I think it's inherent upon us as government to sometimes make these hard decisions.
James, thank you very much for joining us today.
Anytime.
Okay.
Thanks,
Take
James.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.